Bucks fans, Wiley Henderson here, play-by-play voice of the Cranbrook Bucks, joined by one of the newest members of the Bucks, coming midway through the season, Jack McMinn. Welcome to this interview and the
Thanks for
show and
having me.
podcast. No, it's a pleasure to have you on. I've been able to kind of share the ice with you a little bit, and some of the community stuff that we've been doing. I'm sure we'll touch on that later, but seems like you've been really embracing your time with the Bucks and fitting in quite nicely.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's been very easy fitting in here. Everyone's super nice and very supportive, and made it an easy transition to come here halfway through the year.
Yeah, a bit of a different setting than where you started at training camp. So I guess just tell us a little bit about that journey, how it came about, and how you ended up joining the fold here in Cranbrook.
Yeah, so I started off the year in Sherwood Park and was there for a few weeks and ended up leaving to go to Watertown, South Dakota in the North American Hockey League, and um, that was a really good experience and super grateful for that. And then I was fortunate enough to get a text from Ryan Donald, our coach, and I knew Jacob Fletcher, who's obviously a very good player here, and I played with him in a previous year and got along with him really well. So he had nothing but good things to say, and I was really excited to come here.
Yeah, you mentioned to Nova Scotia connection there. Hockey hotbed right now. Three of the best players in Canada as we speak: Ricky Bubbles and Julian. No, just kidding. Obviously, we saw in Team Canada McKinnon, Gretzky, or sorry, not Gretzky, McKinnon, Crosby. Get those two mixed up sometimes, and Marchand. So I guess just tell us a little bit about growing up in Nova Scotia, being the hockey hotbed that it is, and I guess just your journey from East Coast to almost West Coast.
Yeah, no, for sure. It is definitely hockey's very popular in Halifax. I started skating when I was like 2 years old. My dad's originally from Toronto, so he kind of was always into hockey and got me into it pretty early, and I've loved it ever since. And um, yeah, I mean, like for a guy like Jacob Fletcher, he came from Ontario during COVID because they didn't have any hockey season, and it was lucky for our team that he came over, and he ended up leading the league in scoring, and so Halifax was proud to have him. Um, and then making my way out here out west was kind of my first time being out here, and I'd say something that stuck out to me right away was the mountains here are crazy. You don't see anything like that on the East Coast. And so yeah, the hockey though, like the environment isn't too different than what it is in Halifax, where games are packed and really good fans, and there's outdoor rinks all over the place. It seems like in all of Canada that's what's going on.
And you've been able to get kind of a feel for the BCHL now. I guess how's the jump in for you personally as far as the hockey goes?
Yeah, it's definitely a fast league. Everyone's very skilled, very fast. That's something, especially the defenseman, getting used to defending guys. Um, like it's it's something I think fits my style of game. But something that doesn't come super easy, super quickly. You got to work at it, and I think I'm definitely surrounded by guys who, not only my teammates but my coaches as well, being able to learn from them and kind of helping make that adjustment to become a regular player here in the BCHL.
And very early in your tenure with the Bucks, we already had you out, kind of in the community. The program that I'm running with Denaka Basket Child and Family Services Society, with the beginner hockey, and I think that it was your first week or something, and you were out there with us. And first of all, thank you for you and the boys coming out for that. I know how much it means to the kids, but just to kind of get that. community feel right away. You don't see a lot of people getting ingrained like immediately as they come in, but you did it with a smile on your face too. So it seems like yeah, it's been a very good fit for you.
Yeah, for sure. I always enjoy doing that kind of stuff, and I try to do that in the summer as much as possible as well. And it's fun being out there with the kids on the ice, and like however many years ago I was the same kind of kid on the ice, right? So it's nice to
Mhm.
kind of look back and have that experience.
That helps me out too because my skill of teaching is pretty limited unless I'm teaching them what to do in a broadcast booth or hosting a TV show. So yeah, it really helps me out there to have you guys with the know-how, and you know what? They're really learning fast too. So big ups to you guys for that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, just taking it back a little bit to your kind of upbringing in hockey. I guess, do you have a defenseman or a player that you've been watching or studying that you try to model your game after, or maybe anybody that you would say maybe there's a resemblance there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much success I've had kind of replicating his game, but Quinn Hughes is always so fun to watch, and especially on the West Coast, I know a lot of guys or a lot of fans watch him in the Canucks, and in the past few years, like kind of seeing him break out into a real like superstar has been really fun to watch, and so I'm always trying to take as much as I can from watching his games, whether that's kind of his foot speed or his passing, his vision, that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely him.
You mentioned that you actually kind of look like Quinn Hughes a little bit too. So, but
I've been told that before. Yeah,
you know what? As a Canucks fan too, I'm hoping that they give him a bit of support because you got Prime
oh
Hughes
yeah,
there now, and you want to see him do well.
yeah,
Players like that, they usually get a Stanley Cup at some point in their career, and I'm again as a Canucks fan, kind of hoping that happens for us, but we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think him
yeah,
and Makar are always the two I hear as best defensemen in the game right now.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Big push coming up, final month of the regular season, playoffs on the horizon. Just, on the inside looking ahead, how do you feel about the team's chances? You guys have matched up against some pretty good teams recently, had that real hot stretch on the road, kind of finding your niche at a real good time in the season, too. So that's got to be encouraging heading into these last few weeks.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely good to kind of get hot towards the end of the year, and it's no accident. Like all the guys are working super hard, and like following coach's game plan, and really kind of finding what works for us and what our game is. Not kind of on we're all on the same page here, which is really good, and that's definitely going to help us come playoff time, and like my confidence is in this group like is huge. Like I really think that we have the chance to go as far as we can, and like the we're really coming together at the right time here. So
Yeah, and it's been really good to watch. I've been with this franchise since they started off, and I think through all the versions of this team I've seen, this one I feel best about heading into the playoffs. Just the matchup that you guys are likely going to have in that first round. One of those teams coming up here in just a few days in Brooks. So
mm,
those games have been pretty tough. I think you've been in one or two of them already with Brooks. Just tell us a bit about how that rivalry is brewing up.
yeah, so I played in one game against them just a couple weeks ago on Valentine's Day, and it's definitely a tough opponent. Coming to this league, I've heard about them because of Kale McCarr and that kind of
Right.
thing. So they're always a very good team. I think everyone knows that, but like kind of back to what I was saying is, and we know our game, and when we're playing our game, it's hard to beat us, no matter the team we're playing against. So it'll definitely be a fun matchup if that's what happens, and looking forward to tomorrow night as well to go up against them.
And I guess over these next few weeks, anything that you'd like to see maybe the team sharpen up with a little bit, not to throw anybody under the bus, but just any areas that you maybe think could use a little bit of tidying up heading into that final push.
I don't know, honestly. Like I think in the most recent games, like we've been very spot on. Obviously, like you want to play full 60 minutes and be consistent with everything, and sometimes the bounces aren't going to go your way, but like kind of everyone's sticking with it, and it's really coming together at the right time here. So not much for me to highlight, I guess.
All right, Jack, I'll start to wind it down a little bit here. Last two questions, I always kind of go with the same ones. First of all, the billet's a big part of what we do here. They always kind of go the extra mile for you guys, I know, to make your stay a little bit better. So, who are you staying with, and how are they making your stay great?
Yeah, for sure. I'm with Jerry and Irene Bishler, and I wasn't even supposed to stay with them. They were kind of an emergency landing spot for me for a little bit, and they've been gracious enough to keep me. And I mean, like I've been fortunate enough this year to have really good billets everywhere I've been, and this is no exception. They're always very supportive, always making sure we have enough to eat. Like supporting and supplying us with everything we kind of need, whether that's like food or water or whatever it is. And so I can't thank them enough, especially for not expecting to have me. It's been there's been no signs of that they weren't prepared or anything like that. So it's made it very comforting and a nice home to stay in.
And last one, a lot of fans watching or listening, not just from Cranbrook, but in Nova Scotia, Halifax, the suburbs like Sunnyvale and all those places. So, any shout outs for the fans out there listening right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll shout out my parents for making all this possible for me. I can't thank them enough. It's really like not a day goes by where I'm not thankful for the opportunities they provided for me. And yeah, I would say my parents for sure.
All right, Jack. Well, I appreciate you and your time. Thanks again for coming in on a pinch. For those of you listening, it was a last minute substitute for Grant Danuccio. I originally had Jack scheduled for next week, but team player as always. And hopefully we'll see you on the ice, obviously this weekend, but hopefully for the last session on Thursday too. So we've got an all day scrimmage going on there. So got to light
Oh
you guys
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Look forward to seeing you there.
Awesome. All right. And then, yeah, again, best of luck this weekend. That's number 6, Jack McMinn, Cranbrook Bucks. Bucks fans, Wiley Henderson here, play-by-play voice of the Cranbrook Bucks, and today joined by one of the, I guess, members of the new blood in this year's roster, Jake Skogstad. Jake, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good. It's we always kind of start with the veterans at the beginning of the season just because there's a rapport there, and then once we get to kind of see you a little bit in action, and then get to know you a little bit, then we get a chance to have you on, and now it's a good chance for the fans to get to know you a little bit too. So again, thank you for taking the time, and hopefully you're not too nervous. I know there's probably hundreds of thousands watching this right now.
Yeah.
But I guess Jake, just to get started, again, as I mentioned, your first season with the Bucks. Just tell us how things have been going, how you're liking it so far, as we're getting a little bit closer to the playoffs already.
Yeah, no, obviously coming up from U18, it was kind of a jump. But I think I've adjusted well. I mean, there's a lot more pressure in the games. You're kind of fighting for your spot, especially as a rookie. You're fighting for your ice time. But I think we're at a time now in the season where there's really no excuses as a rookie, and you've been practicing with the same guys, the older guys, for months now. You've been playing against them, so there's no excuses now. Yeah, we really can't say enough about the facilities and the management and the way they've welcomed everyone, even the teammates, the veterans. They've been really welcoming. Yeah, I mean, so far I'm really enjoying my time.
And take us through your journey to Cranbrook. You mentioned taking the jump from U18. Where are you coming from, and how did that shape you and get you ready for BCHL hockey?
Yeah, so I've played in Kelowna my whole life. Really, the first time I started talking with Cranbrook was back when I was playing U15. There was this tournament for trying to make Team BC, and one of the assistant coaches for Cranbrook at the time was my coach for that tournament, and he kind of gave me Ryan's number and contact, and that's when we started talking, and then we continued to build our relationship through my U16 and 17 years, and then last year, I think maybe U17 is when, or last year, I got a phone call and I decided to play here, and then yeah, now I'm playing here now. I played at Rink before this, Rink Hockey Academy.
Hmm.
Very fortunate to play there, play under
Yeah,
Jerome
good program.
McGinley actually. Um, Learned a lot from him. So yeah,
Okay, so yeah, getting to meet Iggy, that's a pretty cool experience. I think he is coaching regularly out that way now, isn't he? Ever since he had kids playing with the Rockets,
yeah.
or was it
So
the Rangers?
he was coaching. He coached me for 2 years actually. He was coaching at Rink for 3 years. I don't think he's coaching anymore just because his kids have grown out of the age. But
Right.
I think he might live in Calgary and Kelowna, but he's doing more with the Calgary Flames with management kind of stuff now.
And I guess coming from Kelowna too, probably grew up with a lot of FaceTime with Caslow and Mally.
Oh yeah, Caslo and I we grew up playing on the same teams, and then my brother actually played with Malachi because they're the same age. So yeah, it was nice coming here knowing a couple faces.
Yeah, and that's got to be a lot easier coming into too. I know a lot of guys come from, all different parts of Canada, the States. Look at guys like Sam Line and Rasmus too. So
Yeah,
yeah, I guess that makes the jump a lot easier for you, just kind of knowing what you're coming into a little bit. I'm sure being from BC that you've been out this way before too. So yeah, I guess that all kind of factors in.
yeah, for sure. I mean, talking to Caslo and Malachi before I came here, kind of learning the ways. I skated with Caslo a couple times in the summer, so got to know a bit about how things were run here. So it definitely helped. Yeah.
So we see you paired up a lot with another new player on the roster, also a BC boy and Nathan Sim. Just I guess tell us a little bit about the dynamic between you two.
Yeah, no, we've become really good friends throughout the season. I mean, we play most games together as line mates. We've kind of come together off the ice, like we work out together. But it's always good to have someone on the team like that where you kind of hang out and you guys can chat and build chemistry off the ice too.
And I guess anybody kind of maybe catching you for the first time here. I guess if you had a chance to describe your style of game, or if there's anybody you've kind of emulated or modeled your game after, who would that be?
Uh, Patrice Bergeron is kind of someone I've always wanted to model my game after, kind of 200-foot center. Obviously, I'm at rookie, but like to build the offense parts of the game strongly. Yeah, just Patrice Bergeron, I'd say.
Yeah, obviously a veteran player. I know Vancouver Canucks fans probably have their feelings about him a little bit, but you know what? You can't argue with success. So yeah,
Yeah,
great career there, and yeah, definitely a good player to be modeling after, as you mentioned, the 200-foot game, which we do see a lot of from you, definitely. And I'm sure that's something that Ryan Donald takes notice to. You've kind of become a little Swiss Army knife for him.
yeah.
I guess off the ice. I know the boys like to do their movie nights. I'm assuming that you're part of that. Are you kind of meshing with anybody off the ice that maybe you just kind of met coming into the Bucks?
I think just as a team, we got a really good community, and everyone kind of hangs out with each other off the ice. And obviously, there's the movie nights. I actually haven't been to any of the movie nights. I'm not a big movie watcher myself. If I watch movies, I like to watch them at home because I kind of get restless. But yeah, I think there's no specific person I can gel with. Just the team in general, we've all come together.
And as far as some of the community work that the team does, I know, there's the skills clinic, Stick with Reading, all those kinds of programs. The kids look up to you guys like you're rock stars too. You see that at Skate with the Bucks. Have you been able to take in any
Hmm.
of that? And is there any kind of initiatives there that you particularly enjoy?
Yeah, I've been out three, 2 or 3 times with the Thursday skates that were happening, and then I've gone out reading to the schools 3 times. Actually, I was reading yesterday at one of the schools. It's always nice to see those kids. They always like are overjoyed to see the Bucks. They think is the coolest thing. So it's just nice to get out in the community, and also met those kids at that skate with Bucks. Like I was not expecting to show up, but it was great.
Yeah, that's always a favorite every year. Yeah, I think yeah, it was tougher this year trying to coordinate figure skating moves with my matching suit partner Darren, but
Oh yeah, I saw you
we'll have
out
time to
there.
work on it. Um, so back to the team a little bit. Very important stretch of the season. I guess taking a look at the standings, everything's so close. Just how do you like where you guys are sitting, and I guess anything that you would like to see maybe sharpened up, heading into this home stretch.
Yeah, I think we're sitting in a pretty good spot. We're a couple points back from Salmon Arm and Sherwood Park, and those spots are very attainable. Like I think we got a game or two in hand on both of them. So we just got to make sure we're stealing those points of those games in hand. But yeah, if we can really push up to fourth place, then get the home ice advantage, that would make it playoffs a lot nice. Just
Right.
just in general, sharpening minds and yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, no, no. I was agreeing. Sorry.
I think you, yeah. But yeah, just putting the work in every day at practice and hopefully getting those points.
And for you personally, this being a pretty major season in your development as a hockey player, what would you like to see your major takeaways be from your first go around with the Bucks when the season comes to a close?
I think really just taking it in from the veteran players. I obviously I bill it with Bryce Sucro, and so every day getting to learn the ins and outs from him is pretty special because he's the captain, and there's a lot to learn from him. But I think just in general, just taking all the like watching the older players and how they work every day in practice and taking all that in.
All right, perfect. And you actually segued nicely into one of my last questions here. I always like to wind down with a chance to give the Billets a shout outs. They do so much for you guys. Kind of a underrated part of the team. So you mentioned you're staying with Souks. So yeah, just tell us who you're staying with for the Billets and what they're doing to make sure you and the captain are in good spirits.
Yeah, I built with Robin Adrian Shalosky and then obviously Souks. They're amazing billets. They're always on top of the cooking. They cook lots of food, and the house is very clean. So it makes transitioning from a clean household much easier. They really make it feel like home. Yeah, and just living with Souks is amazing to learn from him.
All right. Did they give him any trouble about that suspension?
Oh no, they didn't.
Yeah, no, it'll be good to have him back in the lineup. It looked like he was missed out there for sure, but
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely,
no, it's
definitely a big
good
part
that
of
he
the
still
team.
made it out for skate with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Um, so last question I always wind up with, just we're seeing a lot more fans coming into the building now, especially as the wins are piling up and the playoffs are getting closer. So, for the fans that are watching, any messages for them out there?
Just we really appreciate your guys' support. I think the past few games have been amazing. The atmosphere is there.
All right, Jake. Well, yeah, again, thank you for your time. Very much appreciated. And yeah, it's good to finally be able to catch up, and best of luck to you the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Anytime. Bucks fans, that's Jake Skogstad.